I thought I'd married the perfect man. Kind, patient, safe. But the night I found out he was cheating, I didn't scream. I didn't cry. I just stood there, paralyzed, watching my husband kiss my brother like I never existed. This isn't a story about villains. It's a story about hearts, shattered in the most unexpected way. I used to believe love was simple. You meet someone, you fall, you build a life. I believed that so deeply I ignored all the small signs. The too long glances. The awkward silences at family dinners. The way my husband's voice got softer when he said my brother's name. His name was Jordan. My little brother. For years younger, reckless but charming. He moved back to the city after a breakup, and like any good big sister, I offered him the spare room. And like any loving husband, Noah agreed. At least, I thought he agreed. The first month was normal. Jordan crashed on our couch half the time, left dishes in the sink, and played his music too loud. Noah rolled his eyes at the mess, but he never complained. In fact, he started coming home earlier. Started cooking dinner. Laughing more. With Jordan. I told myself it was nice. They were bonding. It meant everything would be easier. I wouldn't have to be the bridge between them. But then I started waking up alone. Noah would be on the patio with Jordan. Talking. Drinking wine. I'd step outside, and they'd stop mid-conversation. Always. Like they were hitting pause on a secret. One night, I asked Noah, "Is everything okay?" He smiled. Why wouldn't it be? It was the kind of smile that stung more than it reassured. The day it all unraveled wasn't dramatic. No shouting. No caught-in-the-act scandal. It was a Sunday afternoon. I came home early from a work conference. My key turned in the lock, and I heard music, soft, familiar. Noah's playlist. The one he only played when he cooked or felt safe. I walked in and saw them. In the kitchen. Lit by the golden haze of sunset. Noah stood with his back to me. Jordan was facing him. And their hands were touching. Not in a brother-in-law kind of way. In a way I'd only seen once before on our wedding day. Jordan reached up and brushed something from Noah's face. His thumb lingered. And then Noah leaned down and kissed him. Slow. Tender. Like time didn't exist. I didn't yell. I didn't slam anything. I think my body forgot how to react. I just stood there, watching the man I loved love someone else. And that someone else was my brother. Jordan saw me first. His eyes widened like he'd seen a ghost. Ari. Noah turned. The guilt hit his face like a wave. Ariel. But I turned and walked out. Not because I couldn't face them, but because they couldn't face me. I didn't pick up my phone for 3 days. When I finally did, there were 47 missed calls. 13 from Jordan. 34 from Noah. 1 from Mom. She wanted to know why Jordan moved out so suddenly. I didn't answer. The truth felt like poison in my mouth. When I finally did call Noah back, I told him to meet me at the park near our old apartment. Neutral ground. He showed up wearing the sweater I bought him last Christmas. The one Jordan had teased him about. Now I wondered if that teasing had always been flirting I didn't recognize. He sat beside me on the bench. Silent. Heavy. I didn't plan for it to happen, he said. I'm sure you didn't, I replied, my voice colder than I felt. I wasn't angry. I was hollow. I still love you, he said. In a way. But with him. I cut him off. Don't tell me about it. Don't tell me it's different. Or real. Or that you didn't mean to hurt me. He looked down. I'm sorry. And maybe he meant it. Maybe he really was. Was it happening while we were still sleeping together? No, he said quickly. Not physically. Not until after we stopped. Emotionally? He hesitated. And that hesitation was all the answer I needed. Jordan reached out a week later. A letter slid under my apartment door. No name on the envelope. It was messy, apologetic, rambling. He said he didn't know it would happen either. That he never wanted to fall for Noah. That he hated himself for it, but couldn't bring himself to regret it. I didn't choose to love him, he wrote. But I did. I still do. I cried then. For the first time. Because I believed him. And I hated that I understood. Love doesn't always follow rules. Sometimes it drifts. Sometimes it surprises you. And sometimes it breaks you. Months passed. I avoided family dinners. Skipped holidays. Blocked both their numbers. But grief has a way of forcing reflection. One night, I opened my laptop and found photos of the three of us from better times. Jordan's graduation. My wedding day. Noah's birthday party. Their smiles were too easy, too genuine. It made me wonder how long it had been building. And if I'd really never seen it, or just didn't want to. Eventually, I met up with Jordan. We sat across from each other at a quiet cafe. He looked older. Like guilt had added years. You hate me, he said, without even saying hello. No, I replied. I just don't trust you. That's fair. We sat in silence. Then I asked, do you make him happy? He blinked. Caught off guard. Yeah, he said quietly. And he makes me feel like I'm home. I nodded. Not because I forgave him, but because the pain had already done its job. It had reshaped everything. You didn't just break my heart, I said. You changed how I see love. How I see family. I can't go back. I know. I want to hate you. But I can't. Because somewhere in all this mess, I still want you to be happy. I just wish it didn't cost me everything. He didn't reply. He didn't have to. Noah and I signed the divorce papers in spring. We didn't speak much. Just initials. Signatures. A few quiet glances. As he left, he said, I never meant to betray you. I held his gaze. But you did. He nodded. Then walked out the door. And just like that, my marriage ended not with fire, but with a whisper. Now, when people ask why I don't talk to my brother, I just say, we grew apart. When they ask about my ex, I smile and say, we weren't meant to last. But deep down, I know the truth. Sometimes, there are no villains. Just people stumbling through love, breaking things along the way. And sometimes the person you lose isn't your husband or your brother, but the version of yourself that believed love would never lie.